Kirit, you look in good spirits. You must be really enjoying India.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Namo Samayantanam, Namo Samayantanam, Namo Samayanam, Namo Samayanam, Namo Samayanam, Omkaram Indu Sanyutam Nityam Jayanti Yogina, Kamadam Okshadam Chayumkarai Namo, Manganam Bhagavanu Manganam Uttamam, Manganam Kunkundari Ujendram Bosamanganam Namasana Swanubhutya Jathasti Swadhay Bhävarth Bhävarth
Om Namo Loya Sarvatrikavarti Arantanam. Om Namo Loya Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loya Sarvatrikavarti Aryanam. Om Namo Loya Sarvatrikavarti Vajjanam. Om Namo Loya Sarvatrikavarti Savanam. Eso Panchamukkara Sarva Pavapanasno Manglalancha Sarvesing Paramam Pavengla. Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Nityam Dhayanti Yoginim Kamadam Mokshadam Cheva Omkaraya Namo Namo Samaysaraya Swanubhutya Chakasate Chitsavamaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Ajnanatimir Andanam Gnana Andana Salakaya Chaksurmir Dhamyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namo Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Varto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavanta Varto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayavanta Varto Netirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Varto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sankarotene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dhani Devya Jina Kunda Dhvani Apya Aho Te Guru Kananu Aho Te Bhagavati Matanu Dhruva Achalane Anupama Gati Pamela Sarve Siddhane Vandi Kama Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhata Hari Ho Eka Suddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darshanamaya Khare Kai Manyate Maru Jari Paramatra Nathi Hare Jam Netrate Majgnana Nathi Karaka Nathi Vedaka Hare Jane Jakaramodaya Nirajara Bandate Majamokshame Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Shri Siddhatmane Namaha. Jai Jinendra. Today is December 9th, Wednesday evening, and we are taking this class on Samaysar. We are taking Samaysar stanza 6, and we are taking the Bhävarth of that stanza. Bhävarth is a one which was written by Jaichandji Chabda, means he gives further explanation of the stanza. We have gone in extreme detail, and by now we all know exactly what this sixth stanza says. So basically what this further explanation means Bhävarth says is kind of revision of what we know. And it is very important, as we said, that this is the real root of this Samaysar. This is the base of the Samaysar. This is what Kunkun Acharya wants us to understand about it. And this is very microsome of this metaphysics, of the soul metaphysics, that it explains to us who I am, what are my functions, what are my duties as a soul, So those are the things that I expect. So let's go through the slides and come to... Okay, So we were talking about process of knowledge occurring in a given mode. That was our subject, how the process occurs. So we were talking that one, and then we also had other questions, and we almost spent 1 hour last week with the different questions, but that was important. Important thing is we should understand exactly what we are talking about, and so don't worry about any question coming out, interrupt, and we'll continue that way. There's no problem with that. So we already know this part, so we are going to go through it, how the process of knowledge occurs. The mode paryay by itself transformed in a particular form by its own independence. Paryay, the mode, gets transformed in a particular form by its own independence. It is predetermined, predestined since time infinite, and those modes are coming in sequential order, one after another, after another, after another. So it is prefixed. So the shape created by this mode is known as Jnanakar, means shape of the knowledge mode. Shape created in the sense, when we have talked about the mirror example, the mirror shows the illumination. This illumination occurring in the mirror is a shape created by the mirror itself. So this shape is created by this mode by itself, and that's what Jnanakar means, shape of the knowledge mode. When I look at this telephone right now, I look at this phone, then this phone gets illuminated in my knowledge mode. Just like in the camera, there is an illumination of the picture occurs. The same way, the creation, the shape occurred in my knowledge mode. This knowledge mode created this shape by itself, by its own independence. And that's why it's called Jnanaka, shape of a knowledge mode. Then, as we said, this is prefixed in a mode and it occurs independently at its own given time. It was supposed to happen that I'm supposed to lift this phone to show it, then illumination occurs within me. It was predetermined, prefixed. Yesterday, we tried to take this class on basic Jainism, and it was not supposed to happen. And so we tried so hard, it didn't happen. So one has to accept those things rather than fighting against, my God, internet is horrible over here, nobody's going to help. Why should I blame everybody? It was not supposed to happen, so it didn't happen, period. Case closed. There was no end of the world occurred just because one class didn't occur. So it gives us peace of mind when we accept the things as they are, rather than fighting against. There is a glass on a table, and one says glass is half full, one says glass is half empty. It all depends on my own interpretation. Glass did not change. Glass did not ask me to make the judgment. It just my own interpretation, my own mode was occurring that way, and my own mode decided that glass is half empty. And Ankit's mode said glass is half full. So it all depends your own mode doing your own work independently. So at this time, when this kind of action occurs in a given mode of a knowledge, remember, when we talk about mode, in this context, we only talk about knowledge mode. But remember, at a given moment, at a given samay, all the infinite attributes, they have the modes present in one single samay. But we give importance to knowledge mode only because of its extraordinary capacity of knowing self and knowing others also. No other mode, no other attribute in the universe has that capacity. This is the extraordinary capacity of the knowledge mode. That's why we keep on talking knowledge mode like that. In Samaysar, this word is coming so often that sometimes one believes that mode means knowledge mode only. And just to clear that confusion, the last chapter of Samaysar, Amrit Chandracharya puts in extra chapter and says, remember, until now, up to 415 stanza, we talk about knowledge mode, knowledge mode, knowledge mode. And one believes that mode means knowledge mode only, but no, that is not true. There are other things are also present, and he makes us aware of those other things, you know. So, right now, when we talk about knowledge mode, means knowledge, when we talk about mode, means knowledge mode. And when this knowledge mode create the shape in its own fashion, at the time an object simply present as an instrumental cause. There is no denial of object being present. Object is present, and object is a part of the whole process, but object remains inert. If there is a fire, actual fire as an object, the mirror will show the fire, mirror will not become hot. If there is a heap of snow in front of a mirror, mirror will reflect that heap of snow, but mirror will not become cold. So, object is present, but simply as an instrumental cause. Remember, instrumental cause means nimit. Nimit, N-I-M-I-T, nimit. Nimit means it is present when an act is getting generated in a principal cause. This nimit means instrumental cause is present but cannot interfere in a principal action. So its presence is important but cannot interfere. So that definition we have to really learn hard, and we have to know that object is present. But what we are talking principal thing. We are talking action within me. I'm talking action in my knowledge mode. And I'm giving importance to that one. So this instrumental cause becomes secondary even when it's present. So it's no denial, but it's become secondary. Then knowledge mode knows the shape in its mode. Knowledge mode has a capacity to know whatever shape is created within. The picture of snow is created, picture of fire is created, then knowledge mode knows the shape in its mode. So it looks like an oxymoron. It looks like some mode knows the mode. Yes, we have to understand that part, because next slide will tell us why we are making this. This is very principled and detailed about it. So what did knowledge mode end up knowing? The shape occurred on the knowledge mode. Knowledge mode ends up knowing that shape. Knowledge mode did not know anything else. When we say peacock is present as an object, knowledge mode has a peacock shape created, and knowledge mode knew this shape of the peacock in its own knowledge mode. Same way, there is an inclination of attachment. Rag is an outside object. It gets illuminated in the knowledge mode, and knowledge mode ends up knowing the illumination of this inclination of attachment. So, knowledge mode remains separate, inclination of attachment remains separate, inclination of attachment remains as an object, and a knowledge mode ends up knowing its own illumination of inclination of attachment within. So, that way, rag, inclination of attachment, is called object. It's away from me. Away means it is occurring within me, but still we have to make that fine judgment of making that as a secondary, making it as a less important, and important thing is my knowledge mode. Me as a knowledge mode ends up knowing the shape of the inclination of attachment. As we give example of the dog. Dog is chewing the bone, and the sharpness of the bone is hurting his palate, and his blood comes out, and what he believes, remember, he believes that this sweetness taste comes from the bone. In fact, he is enjoying his own blood. Same way, inclination of attachment is an object get illuminated in the knowledge mode. Knowledge mode ends up knowing this illumination of the inclination of attachment. And what I believe, that I know the inclination of attachment. I make my ownership on this rag. I just say, I knew the rag. No, I did not know the rag. Actually, I end up knowing the shape of the rag getting illuminated in my knowledge mode. So, as the dog tastes its own blood, I'm also enjoying my own knowledge mode, and I believe that I am enjoying or I am rejecting my inclination of attachment and aversion. I have the rag and dvesh. I make unity with that. And that unity and my ownership on it is called wrong faith. Wrong faith is not crudely say that, to believe the wrong gods and wrong scripture and wrong guru. Those are just very, very, way secondary. When I believe my knowledge mode knows the inclination of attachment, that is the wrong assumption. That's a wrong assumption. That's a wrong belief. So here, Acharya Bhagavan brings it to this microscopic level for us to understand what is. Yes.
When the knowledge, when the Gnan Pariyaya knows rag, yeah, that's what we called vikalp last week, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I know the inclination of attachment, then it is also called reflective thoughts, vikalp. When I just said, I did the rag, I'm the reason for making this rag and everything, then it becomes mithyatva. When I make them unity, it is the vikalp, means it is the reflective thought.
Kirit uncle, yes? Just for clarification, I don't know if this is true. I'd like to know if this is true. I recall having heard somewhere that rag swanipar, so let's say par is rag, swanipar ekatva is called asrav. Now, what you just said was that when you assume unity between knowledge and rag, that's vikalp. So can you please draw the distinction between vikalp and asrav?
See, when I make unity with them, it's called vikalp. And when I make ownership on that, that's called mithyatva. Once again, when I say this is the inclination of attachment, rag over here, and my knowledge mode is over here, and my knowledge mode ends up knowing the illumination of the inclination of attachment in my knowledge mode. That's a process. Now, if I make them as one unit, that's called rag, means I have the rag, and when I take the ownership that I did this rag, then it's called mithyatva. When I make the owner, remember, mithyatva is the higher form of rag. Remember, in the wrong faith, there are 16 types of influence of attachment, means rag and dvesh, krodh, man, maya, lobha, anger, deceit, ego, and greed are there. So the very first set of 4 is called Anantanamandi, krodh, man, maya, lobha, means infinite bonding, anger, deceit, ego, and greed. And that infinite bondage of anger, deceit, ego, and greed are part of wrong faith. When that infinite bonding, anger, ego, deceit, greed goes away, then apratyakhani, pratyakhani, and sanjvalan kashai, they are still present, and they are milder form of influence of attachment and aversion. Mithyatva is an intense form of inclination of attachment and aversion. Once the mithyatva is gone, when this 4th spiritual development stage occurs, when the soul obtains samyak darshan, then here milder form of rag and dvesh present. It remains all the way up to end of 10th spiritual development stage. So remember, when we say rag and dvesh, it's an intense form. When I get so engrossed within, I'm the first thing, I justify my inclination of attachment and aversion. Let's say anger. I become angry. That's a one thing. But I have to become angry because of you guys. You are making my life miserable. And if I take the ownership of that anger, that's called mithyatva.
No, I understand that. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, is that correct? Was my statement correct, or at least my understanding of the statement? Swaniparna ekatva is called asrav. Is that correct, or is that false?
Swaparna ekatva is asrav, you said, right?
Yes. Is that true?
Yeah, because see, what you are doing is you are making definition from the other angle. You are taking 9 elements, and then you are talking about inflow element. What is inflow element? Means I have the unity with the alien object, and that's an inflow element. So we are looking at that from that perspective. Here, what we are talking about, when object is here, I am here, and I consider both as together, we can also call that one as asra also. Yes, we can call that asra.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, she has a question. Excuse me.
Okay. All right. So knowledge mode ends up knowing the shape in the mode. Now, impurity of the alien object does not enter this knowing capacity of the mode. Means knowledge mode did the reflection independently. The illumination occurring in the knowledge mode was independent, and the object was present simply as an instrumental cause. Now, if I believe that I end up knowing because of the object being present, then there is impurity entered in my knowledge mode. Remember, if I believe, the word is believe. If I believe that my knowledge mode got reflection or got illumination because of object being present. For example, Siddha Bhagwan, the liberated soul, knows everything, past, present, and future of each and every substance's modes. Infinite modes of each substances. And there are infinite substances, infinite number of substances are infinite in the universe. He knows all the things. Now, if one believes that this knowledge occurred in the omniscient, in the liberated soul, just because whole universe is present, then it's a wrong belief, and it brings the impurity in the impurity of the alien object entering in the mode. So, Siddha Bhagwan, liberated soul, and omniscient Lord, Aryan Bhagwan, they both have capacity of their own. That knowledge mode has capacity not only to know this universe, but if the infinite universes were present, this knowledge mode has a capacity to know all those things. So this capacity of knowledge mode is independent. That's a word, that's a carry-on message that we have to take into consideration. Okay, now we are coming to the point, do-or-deed relationship. This was that I think 3 or 4 or 5 classes back, Chirag raised the questions, and there is an answer to that question over here. Do-or-deed relationship. Who does the work, and what kind of work is getting done? The doer is a worker, and deed is a work. Worker doing the work. So knowledge mode. Now we are coming not only the soul substance, but in the soul substance, we just made a soul substance a secondary, the attribute a secondary, and we are talking knowledge mode principally right now. This knowledge mode has a capacity to know the self and alien objects of the universe. It's called Swadhay Prakasha. This is the most absolute characteristics of this knowledge mode, to know the self and to know all the alien objects. Now, the illumination of the alien as well as eternal soul substance occurs in the knowledge mode. Remember, as I say, that now we are talking from the knowledge mode's perspective. So we also made soul, eternal soul substance a secondary, all its attributes are secondary, and this knowledge mode does all the action right now. In this action, what happens? This illumination of the alien objects occur, and also illumination of the eternal soul substance occur in this knowledge mode. For example, there is a lamp. This lamp is lighting the whole room. So now there's a light over here. I can see the bed, I can see the pillow, I can see the picture of Kuparudev, and I can see all those things. So all the alien objects are illuminated with the light. And to illuminate the light itself, do I need another light? The same question again. To illuminate this light has illuminated. There's a cabinet over here. There's a computer sitting over here. I'm sitting on the sofa. There's a bed over here. All those objects are there. So light has illuminated all the objects. But now I want to illuminate the light. Do I need another lamp to illuminate this light? No. The light itself illuminates the self. So I can see the bulb in the ceiling. And this bulb is giving light, and light is giving all the alien objects illuminations. Similarly, this knowledge mode knows the whole capacity to know the whole universe. Any alien object, it illuminates, and at the same time, the same knowledge mode illuminates the eternal soul substance. So it does. That means Swadhay Prakasha, self-illumination and alien object illumination. This is very important concept to understand. Now, by the way, this illumination of the alien objects and eternal soul substance occur in knowledge mode all the time to every living being. It could be a Nigot self, lowest form of life, or it could be human being like us, 5 sense sentient being, or it could be omniscient Lord, or it could be liberated. So any living being on the earth, continuously this illumination keeps on going of alien objects and eternal soul substance in the knowledge mode. So then why do I not know my eternal soul substance? That's a question. How come I know everything, but I don't see my own self? Well, because I have not given importance to that. If I give importance to my eternal soul substance, then I will be able to perceive that only, and the illumination of the alien objects of the universe will become secondary. I want to go to, from New York, I want to go to Florida. So on the way, there are hundreds and thousands of cars pass by. I see them. I don't pay attention to them. I see hundreds of signboards coming. I don't, excuse me, I don't pay attention to that. I just simply see them, make it secondary. Only the board I want to know: Miami 300 miles, Miami 250 miles, Miami 100 miles, Miami 50. Only, so I give importance to that board only. All other board becomes secondary, even though I see them. So here, me as a transmigratory soul, that I keep on seeing every universal substance's illumination within me, but my own soul substance also get illuminated, and I have not put attention to that one. As we get the example of the crying baby, crying child, and when the mother comes and he stops crying, even though he is hurting, means now his attention is drawn to the mother, and so even though pain is present, his attention is away from the pain. Same way here, illumination of the eternal soul substance occurs within me, as well as alien objects are getting illuminated, but I give importance to the alien objects. My faith is directed to alien objects, and my faith is made my eternal soul substance illumination secondary. Only the thing I have to do is to change this faith from alien objects. I have to bring my faith to my eternal soul substance. That's all I have to do. That is my Purusharth. This is what I am supposed to do. That will be Samyak Darshan. I'll be on the path to liberation, and that's what it is. Simple thing. Acharya Bhagavan said, remember, I make this one so easy for you. If you don't understand this part, then it's your problem. So those are the things that we have to understand. Now, this illumination occurs in the mode due to eligibility of the mode itself, and no other outside alien objects or even the soul substance is responsible for it. Remember, this is now very, very loaded sentence coming. The illumination is supposed to occur at this particular time of particular objects. This mode has its own eligibility. Infinite amount of modes in the past and infinite amount of modes in the future, they will come in the sequential order as per their eligibility.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Is this Tatsamay Yogyata?
I'm sorry?
Is this Tatsamay Yogyata?
Tatsamay Yogyata, that's eligibility, yes. At that particular time, the mode has that particular eligibility. Tatsamay Yogyata. Tatsamay means that particular time. Yogyata means eligibility. That particular time, that eligible mode was supposed to get generated, and it did get generated. So, this occurs independently in this mode. Even the soul substance is not responsible for it, and outside alien objects are not responsible for it. Remember, as we said, illumination occurs in this knowledge mode, this present knowledge mode, in which soul substance get illuminated, alien objects get illuminated, but that's a mode's its own eligibility. And at that time, soul substance is secondary, instrumental cause, alien object secondary, instrumental cause. I do the work in this mode. This mode says, I'm the performer, I'm the doer, I'm the worker, I do the work. So this mode becomes doer. Now, this knowledge mode, with its own independence, will know the illumination of the self as well as alien object. Now, this knowledge mode did the work. What work did it do? It just illuminated eternal soul substance and alien object of the universe. That did it just did the illumination. So it did that work. Now that work is done, this knowledge mode independently will know the illumination. Number one was illumination part, and second is knowing that illumination. And this knowing the illumination of the self and alien object becomes its deed. It's deed, it's a work. Worker did the illumination, and what did this knowledge mode do the work? It knew this illumination. So doer and deed occur in the same mode at a given time. And this is called doer-deed relationship in the same mode, and that's a height of the absolute independence of every substance, their attributes, and even their mode of one moment, one Samays mode. Ek samayni paryayni swatantrata. This is the absolute fact that Kunkun Swami gave it to us 2000 years back, and then Amrit Chandracharya gave the commentary and further explanation 1000 years back, and with our luck, Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami expanded on this thing for 45 years and give this independence of the mode in us so much that now we know that anything happens to me is my own doing. I don't have to blame to anybody else. So my conduct becomes natural. I don't have to just work on the conduct. It just becomes natural because I'm independent. My mode is independent. My mode does the work independently. So nobody is responsible for that. So rather than blaming whole world, I just take importance to me. Buck stops at me. And that's what I have to understand. So, knower, karta is a mode. And knowing action, karma, is also the same mode. Worker is a mode. And its work is a knowing action of work is also the same mode. So, doer-deed relationship occurs in the same mode. That's a height of the independence. Now that we have when we talked this one about 2 or 3 sessions back, Kathy is one, she is in the class right now, and she is a very, very learned lady. She has done a PhD in philosophy and everything, and she has done world religion, and now she comes to know that Jainism is only the one which gives clear explanation of everything. And what she did was, I want to show you something that she just shared with me that it will be fun to understand what she wrote down to me. Kathy, I just took the screenshot of the thing that you wrote down. Explanation of Vi Wu Wei. He is a very ancient philosopher in China, and he said that that interpretation and argued that they are incomplete without the moral radical understanding of Wu Vi as non-dual action. That is, now important word, action in which there is no bifurcation between subject and object, means no awareness of an agent that is believed to do the action as being distinct from an objective action that is getting done. Kathy, this is a fantastic thing that you shared with us, and that's I took the liberty to share with everybody else. That, Kathy, can you throw some light on this subject, please, if you can?
Well, not really. That's just the basis of Taoism. And it's been around for like 2,500 years too. Lao Tzu, the Chinese founder of Taoism. But I've really never understood it until tonight. I've thought about it a long time, and it's really hard for the Western mind to understand it. And you really did explain it. Action isn't separate from the work.
Thank you.
But I'm not sure, are we all capable of that level?
Yeah, but Kathy, this is so good that at least somebody 2,500 years back, somewhere way back in China also, they were thinking this radical thought also. And that's amazing that, how philosophical mind thinks the exact same thing, It's amazing, amazing. Thank you for sharing this fact, Kathy, with us, and that's very good. Okay, coming back to our current slide. Okay, so we did a duality relationship that way, and now how is mode getting originated? Now again, now we'll be able to go quickly because these are kind of revision. Objects get illuminated in the knowledge mode, which arises from all knower soul substance. Mode occurred coming from the all-knower soul substance has a knowledge attribute, and from that the mode got originated. It did not get generated or due to an alien object. This generation of mode occurred within me only, and no object was reason for that. Ownership belongs to all knower soul substance. This ownership of knowledge mode belongs to all knower substance. Mode getting generated, and further, once saying that ownership belongs to all knower soul substance, and then also within that all knower soul substance ownership, the mode getting generated due to its own eligibility, own samarthya, tatsamani yogyata, and so this is the way the modes gets originated. Nobody is interfering in my knowledge modes occurring. It's independent, it's coming from the all-knower soul substance, and alien objects has no influence on it. Yes, alien object could be present at instrumental cause, but instrumental cause is instrumental cause, simply present but cannot take part into the whole action. So that's a mode's origination. Mode from now we are now this next two slides, and they are going to be really tough slide to digest because we have not done the partial point of views in detail. But bear with me, and after certain classes, we are going to take partial point of view as a subject, because that will be coming in the 9th stanza and 11th stanza of Samaysar. Mainly 11th stanza it will come. And so when that comes, we'll be talking at great length. But right now, let's understand a mode, we are looking from different angle, different perspective. Okay, I'm Kirit right now. We are talking Samaysar right now from one angle. I'm sitting in Dharampur. That's another angle. I'm Vibhudi's husband. That's a third angle. I'm Amit Rishi and Rina's father. That's a fourth angle. I'm Jitu's brother. That's a fifth. Lots of different angles are there. So I have infinite way I could be known, out of which, as the subject is concerned, you make that partial point of view important and make less as secondary. Don't reject, but make them secondary. If we are talking class right now, then that is important, and whose husband, whose father, whose brother, all those things become very secondary. If there's a family gathering, then yes, it's important whose father, whose brother, whose son, all those things will become important at that time. So a given reality can be seen from many different perspectives. And now the same mode we are looking from different perspective and analyze and say what it is. Now, number one, eternal source substance is pure, and it is a subject of pure point of view. Suddha Naino Vishay. Hang on to this thought right now. Eternal soul substance is pure, it's always pure. Gold is a gold, is a gold, is a gold, whether it's in the mind or whether it's in the impure form, whether it's in dirt or whether it's in a pure form. Gold is a gold. So eternal substance is pure. And it's a subject of, now when this purity we are talking of eternal soul substance, then who knows this one? A mode ends up knowing. Remember previous slide, we just said action, the worker is a mode. Soul substance is inert. Infinite attributes are inert. And the knowledge mode is only the one which is active, which shows the work. And so it's a worker. The hard worker is my mode. So this mode also ends up knowing this eternal soul substance. So it's a subject of pure point of view, which my mode decided, my mode means me as a mode decided to look at the eternal soul substance, to look at the eternal soul substance, to perceive the eternal soul substance. So, eternal soul substance is pure and it's a subject of pure point of view. Point of view, partial point of view, action occurs in the mode. And it just knew the eternal soul substance. So it's called Suddha Naino Vishay. Mode which knows this state is also called pure. Remember, this mode has a illumination of the object, worldly object, and illumination of the soul substance. So now this mode decided to put all the attention to this eternal soul substance. And that's why this mode is also called pure. So the knowledge mode, knowing the soul substance, is also known as subject of pure point of view. Paryayne પણ શુદ્ધ નયનો વિષય કયો છે? This is according to stanza 14 in Samaysar. When we come to stanza 14, it will blossom it out, the bright new things for us. Right now, my mode end up knowing eternal soul substance, and so my mode is also called pure point of view. So this mode is called pure point of view, Suddha Naino Vishay. Second thing, mode occurring due to association with an alien object is considered as impure. This mode, this knowledge mode now reflects the alien object, and this alien object got reflection because alien objects are present. If I believe that way, then this mode is called impure. The word believe is important. What action occurs is totally different. But if I believe that I have the alien object illumination because this alien object is present, if I believe that way, then this is called impure substantial point of view. Why? Asuddha dravyarthik naino vishay. Substantial because this mode originates from the substance. This mode originates from the soul substance. Soul substance has a knowledge attribute and the mode paryay got originated. So it is called substantial view. Now it is impure because it is associated, because I made the association with the alien objects. I made the association with the alien objects. And that's why it is called impure. Remember, action is same. My belief in the first, this first bullet, that it has just seen the eternal soul substance, so the pure point of view. Here, it is looking at the alien objects and knowledge is looking because of the alien object. That's why it's called impure substantial point of view. And this is our sixth stanza when we talk attentive and non-attentive mode, pramat and apramat modes. pramat and apramat paryay. What is pramat? First to 6th spiritual development stage, and 7 to 14 spiritual stage is called attentive mode. Attentive means this mode is engrossed within the true nature of the self, and non-attentive means it is related to the reflection of the alien object. So it's a non-attentive mode, and this attentive mode or non-attentive mode are related to the presence or absence of karma being object, karma being present as instrumental cause. So when I say I have an attentive mode, yes.
Does Vikalp end at 7?
I'm sorry?
Does Vikalp end at 7?
Yeah, because Vikalp ends at 7, because what happens now, 7 to 14, the soul is engrossed within. Soul is engrossed within its true nature. And so when the experiencing phase is going on, then even the knowledge mode is called nirvikalp from one perspective. Now, yes.
Sorry, forgive me, but the question was, does Vikalp end at 7? I don't know why. I feel like the answer, I'm probably wrong. I think the answer is no. Asatma gunasthanak pachi nirvikalpta tatatre ke ibi chuti jai.
Seventh gunstha, this seventh spiritual development stage is divided into 2 parts. One part in which from 7th you go to 6th all the time. Within Antarmura, within intra-Indian hour, the soul goes from engrossment of the engrossment to the self to the engrossment in the alien objects to 6th gunstana. So that's a pramat. Pramat means non-attentive. Apramat means attentive. Now the later part of the 7th spiritual development stage, when now it remains engrossed within, and now it goes to 8, 9, 10, and 12, a spiritual development stage, then he remains engrossed within self only, and nothing else is happening. He is purely engrossed in his eternal soul substance. And again, remember, yeah, go ahead.
For example, like if we're at the 10th Gunasthanak,
yes.
If we stay in that nirvikalpa stage for antarmurat, then to moksha thai jai na.
Yes. No. If you from 7th, one says 7 to 6, 7 to 6, 7 to 6 to 7 to 6 to 7, that spiritual development stages keeps on occurring in Muniraj all the time. For example, when we talk about Kunkun Swami is in the 7th Gunsthanak and then also in the 6th Gunsthanak. Millions of times throughout the day, he keeps on making this journey. But now when he gets engrossed within and later part of the 7th spiritual development stage, then he goes to 8, 9, and 10, and 12, and all those things happens within Antarmura, within intra-Indian hour. And thereafter, the soul obtains total passionless state at the 12th spiritual development stage. And from there, within Antarmura, he goes to 13th Gunsthanak and he obtains omniscience knowledge. So he becomes all-knower, omniscient Lord at the time. Passionless, all-knower, omniscient Lord, and that's a 13th spiritual development stage, and that remains till the age-determining karma goes away, and then he obtains 14th, and then goes to liberated place. So he becomes Siddha Bhagavan.
So Kiritanko,
yeah.
So then Vikalp doesn't end at 7. Vikalp should end when 13 starts, because you still have some Rag Dvesh left.
you are putting me to work, and I was purposefully trying to avoid, because it is, and it's very good. I'm so happy that at least you are, because remember, in 7th onwards, 8th, 9th, and 10th, there is still Sanjvalan Kashai present. Remember, Sanjvalan Kashai is present, right? Microscopic form of Vikalp are present, but it is called Buddhi Purvak and Abuddhi Purvak. Abuddhi Purvak means even that soul is not able to catch that absolutely microscopic form of Vikalp going within, but soul is not able to catch that. And soul is totally engrossed within, but underneath the surface, underneath this intellect, that Sanjvalan Kashai still keeps on going, and it is made so secondary right now that we can just say that he is in a totally engrossment from later part of the 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 to 12. Real passionless, total, no toxic emotions at all occurs at 12th Gunsthana. So that is your right questions. Yes, you are really ahead in thinking, and I'm really proud of you. Does it make sense? If not, then ask question. Okay, let's take the 4th Gunsthana. Let's say that the soul is on a 4th spiritual development stage. And when he's experiencing his own self right now, which is transient, on 5th Gunsthana, it will become a little bit more often and a little bit more longer. And 7th Gunsthana, it occurs continuously, and then he goes to 6th, and then 7th, and 6th, and 7th. That thing continuously occurs. So 4th spiritual development stage or 5th spiritual development stage, soul, when goes in an experiencing phase, at that time, he has a Pratyakhyani Kashai, Apratyakhyani Kashai, Sanjvalan Kashai. They are present according to the Gunsthana. But they are working at the subconscious level. That soul in the experiencing phase is not able to pick that one up. So underneath that process is going on, but we give the importance to the experiencing phase only, and so we just say he's a gnani, and so he has no bondage of karma. In fact, there is a bondage of karma, but it is so minuscule that it's considered as none. So that happens in the 4th, 5th, 7th, 8th, 9th, all the way to end of 10th. All those things happens. Make sense? You know what? We will take sometimes, somewhere on the line, we'll have to take the spiritual development stages to go in detail to understand all this, the intricacy of actions occurring. And that will be a Karnanuyog chapter, that will be the mathematical chapter. It will be very nice to go to those things. Make sense?
Yeah, I have a question. Someone else has a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just, sometimes I feel like Agnay and Agnay, Agnay and it's just like, how can I say this? It's like this Gnani Pariyai, when it's Paralakshi, it feels like it's a different Dravya, and like you should just learn to sort of totally, someone else is obviously not under your control, so you start losing attachment that way. But even your own Gnan Pariyai feels like it's not under your control when it's Paralakshi. So then you should also just completely lose attachment to that too. Is that sort of what they're trying to tell us?
Okay, I understand your question. That the mode, we are telling that mode is independent. Even the substance has no control on the mode, what way that mode will behave. And that mode is, as Ankit said, Tat Samaini Pariyani Yogyata, means that mode has eligibility to occur at that given form, given stage. So now, if I understand that part, that mode keeps on coming, mode keeps on coming, mode keeps on coming, whether pure or impure, they keeps on coming, right? They keep on coming and coming and coming. Now, if I know that I don't have control on even on my mode, that why should I try to change that mode situation? Yesterday, my class did not occur. It was supposed to happen. Did I try to change that mode anyway, that by hook or crook, I'll make sure that my internet works? And no, it was not supposed to work. So if you accept that fact, then the anxiety of me changing my own mode, forget about me changing somebody else's mode, but me changing my own mode, that anxiety also goes away and I become at peace. And I just say, my eternal source substance is my ultimate refuge. And if I just look at it only, that's it. I don't have to worry about anything else. Then my attention from the mode also goes away. And I am at peace and I get super sensuous bliss, because now my attention is focused only to the eternal soul substance, and that's all. So your question is, I cannot change somebody else's mode. That's okay, that we understand. But even I cannot change my own mode. So I have to have that kind of understanding. And if I have that kind of understanding, then I can progress. I'm on the fast track progress. Does it answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have a question about the fast track progress.
Yeah.
A long time ago, I'm fascinated with King. Is it Bhävarth? B-H-A-R-A-T?
Bhävarth, yeah.
Counselor Bharti?
Yeah.
Okay, so did he go through all 14 stages in his life? All 14?
All 14 stages. Within 48 minutes, he went through from 4th all the way to 14. And so that's when we look at that kind of, so for Mahavir, it took 12 and a half years from 7 to go to 7 to 13. Rishabdev, the first Tirthankar, it took 1,000 years. And Bharat, it took only 48 minutes, within 48 minutes. So I have a control. It doesn't, the past life story of Tirthankar Bhagwan, everything, they just tell us that, listen, variation can be there. It's in your hand. Your trigger is in your hand. If you just pull the trigger, you can finish everything within 48 minutes too. So fast track, he just happened. Mahavir, it took time. Rishabdev took longer time. But once you are on the track, it doesn't make difference whether you finish in 1 life, 3 life, 5 life, or 15 life. But your infinite birth and death cycle is now broken, and now in a very, very, very minimal time, one is able to get liberation.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yes.
Marudeva Mata, Bharat Chakravarti's mother went from 1 to 14, right? Or 1 to 13.
Yeah. So those are the things can happen to different. So when we look at the histories, those histories make us believe that, you know what, I'm the control of my own destiny. I don't have to worry about anything else. Yes, it took 12 and a half years for Mahavir Swami, 1,000 years for Rishabdev, and 1 day for, I think, Malinath or so, it took 1 day, and Bharat took only 48 minutes. So all variations are there. It all depends on my attitude and my action, how fast I try to put, how deeply I try to put this knowledge and act on it. All right, once 1 hour passed by, it's so fast, so quick. We are already 4 minutes above. If there is any other question, we can entertain. Otherwise, we can just go for next week.
Thank you, Kirit Bhai.
Okay, thanks, Jasuben. Thank you. Okay,
સમજાય છે બધું બરાબર.
that's very good. I'm glad. I'm happy. That's good. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's do the closing.
અચ્છા
Go ahead.
હા બસ નહીં હવે કાલનું સેશન થશે ને પછી હું હમણાં તો નહીં આવીશ.
No problem. Okay.
ઇન્ડિયા આવી જઈશું ને એટલે.
જાવાણી કે જ્ઞાન સે સૂજે લોકાલો સોવાણી મસ્તક નમો સદા દેત હું દો. Now 9 times more come. Namo Orantana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Island, Namo Jam, Namo Le Socham, Namo Orientana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Island, Namo Jam, Namo Le Socham, Namo Orientana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Island, Namo Jam, Namo Le Socham, Namo Orientana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Island, Namo Jam, Namo Le Socham, Namo Orientana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Island, Namo Jam, Namo Le Socham, Namo Orientana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Island, Namo Jam, Namo Le Socham, Namo Orientana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Island, Namo Jam, Namo Le Socham, Namo Orientana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Island, Namo Le Socham, Namo Orientana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Island, Namo Jam, Namo Le Socham. Jai Jinendra.
જય જીનેન્દ્ર.
Hang on for a second. I need to talk to you. Let me just put my recording on.